of air where we are running massively late because we ended up talking about nerdy shit for so long and making grandiose plans and ideas and just
waffling.
it honestly we ended up just getting too carried away. It was meant to be a 10-minute conversation before we started and it ended up making we're 40 minutes late. So
Honestly, I was on the edge of going doing what we're talking about instead of doing this.
I know, seriously, I know.
I've got a notebook I can start. There's one in here somewhere.
I've got a notebook as well. I am probably going to end up doing it tomorrow at some point.
I'm
So
tempted, man. I'll
I'll
have
be
some
like
free time.
I'll be messaging you. But yeah, we are back in tonight's episode because we've been spamming the chat with random stuff, and we've been our chat with random stuff, and I also discovered something about it a few days ago. I figured we could just do random things that are banned or like illegal or not allowed for like the strangest of reasons or like things that make you question why the fuck is this not allowed?
So this is off a conversation that we started in a little group chat earlier.
It is indeed.
Signs that are oddly specific that just makes you think that's on that sign, or that's on that instruction, or that's in that law. So somebody's done it for it to be there, because why else would it be there?
Exactly, such as prohibited items. You've got the normal ones: alcohol, knives, weapons. I like the fact it specifies alcohol and knives, and then just goes weapons in general, and then underneath says Swedish fish. Why?
Sweet.
I want to
I mean,
know why specifically a Swedish fish. Who's been doing what with a fish? And also, are you allowed to bring a German fish?
what about a Japanese fighting fish and then just set it on people?
Exactly. Are you allowed to bring fish from another nation? Is it just a specific type of fish? Is it specifically a Swedish fish?
I don't know, man.
I mean, they went to the detail of putting Swedish fish, so I feel like it's specifically a Swedish one. I feel like a Swede has come around and just harassed people with a fish, so now they've said no more Swedish.
I don't, is it? I don't know if this is racist against the Swedish or just the fish.
Sue says Swedish fish are the name of the sweets in the shape of a fish. In which case, why is that banned on the same list as knives, alcohol, and weapons? If it's a sweet in the shape of a fish.
Yeah.
Like, what damage has been done with that? Has someone been throwing it into cars' engines or something and blowing them up? What's been going on?
What is this? What? I mean, what's been happening for it to be a Swedish fish? Like what? There's no context to that one.
There's no
It's,
context
it's
to
what
any of
baffles
them,
me.
really.
No, I know, but like I found one. So you know the alligator one.
Yeah.
It says do not molest the alligators.
It says do not feed or molest.
Right.
Now,
I
the,
get the
the,
feeding.
the, I get the feeding, and the rest
What
of the sign
maniac?
does specify the feeding because the rest of the sign does say the gators can't be tamed, and feeding them might result in them thinking the hand's a
Which is
free
fine.
snack.
That's fine.
That makes sense.
Right. Who's been trying to tame an alligator to molest it? Is my question.
Or who's just been trying to molest an alligator? Like,
But the Swedish fish one. Swedish fish are just sweets, are they?
yeah.
What has happened
Okay.
with the Swedish? What has happened with the sweets? That
I
means
don't know.
you can't have them. What
I
has
mean,
happened there? That's what I'm saying. Like
it's
most of the
it's
time when
legitimately like jellyfish.
yeah, most of the time when something is stupidly specific, it's pretty much self-explanatory what someone's done at that point. But that one isn't. It's just no Swedish fish. Why? What happened? What did the Swedish fish do?
I've got no idea.
Because they are jellies, aren't they? Like sweets. They're American sweets, I believe.
Ooh, ooh! I may have found an answer.
Oh, I like this.
Oh no, it's something different.
No,
Um, apparently there is a Swedish fish that is uh so smelly and deterrable
no,
that it has
that's
been
that's
banned on
um
all of airlines. It's
that's Surströmming.
Sustrumming.
Surströmming.
Yeah.
That's not Swedish fish sweets. That's surströmming. It's a fish that I believe is buried and fermented for months and then put in a can and literally people spew when they open the can. But it's like a delicacy.
Yeah, I'm wondering if the science to do with that, but someone didn't know the name, or if it's legitimately the sweets.
Not because the sweets are just called Swedish fish. If you're going to ban something and put a sign up, right, and it's a proper sign, it's not someone written on a bit of cardboard and just stuck it on their lawn.
No,
It's a
it's a
it's a
proper
proper
full-on
sign
sign.
has been made. So at some point in the process, you go, what is that Swedish fish called? And you just Google the stinky fish from Sweden, like you did, and end up with surströmming. You'd make an effort to put the name on there. You wouldn't just go, you're not allowed that Swedish fish,
I don't
because
know
then
if it's in America.
anyone reading that's going to look at it and go, well, that's a sweet, and then bring the surströmming.
Yeah, true.
It does raise another interesting point as well. If we both turn up at the same time and you have a packet of small jellyfish,
And you have
small jellies,
a jar of very smelly fish.
and I have a thing of surströmming, I could open that and everybody in the immediate vicinity would vomit, right? And I would get thrown out. But technically, you're the one that broke the rules there, not me.
That would be very interesting. Would that add something else onto the sign underneath, or would that just encompass the Swedish fish?
We should make it our mission to go to as many public places as we possibly can and see how much of the world we can have where you turn up and it just says no surströmming.
Are we just going to buy a batch and just wander around? We're going to have nose plugs in that nobody can see. You know, like those fish, those swimming ones where they like just poke out your nose. And we're
Dude,
just going to wander around. People are going to be wondering, why the fuck have they got them? And we're just going to open this car in the middle of a park.
we're just going to see if we can get the entire of the UK from top to bottom to have signs at every public place with no surströmming.
Yes, please.
You know, like when
100%.
people, dude, you know when people complain about like people microwave curries or fish or stuff in like office microwaves and stuff, and they're like, oh, it stinks the canteen out.
Yes, I used to have at my
Dude,
work when I first started, there was this lush chicken pot. It was like a chicken noodle pot that they did in
yeah,
Asda. It was absolutely gorgeous,
yeah.
but it absolutely stank in the microwave. Like it's one of those things where you open a can of curry and it just stinks before you cook it
Mhm.
or anything. It just smells horrible. It smelled like that during the entire cooking process, but as soon
Yeah.
as it was finished cooking, like it would be stinky up to the 3 minute 59-second mark, and then as soon as it hits that 4 minute mark, it smells delicious and it tastes delicious and you just want it. But up until that one last second, it stank, and it stank the office out, and I ended up getting banned from the staff room if I was eating that.
See, this is my point, right? So this is what my nature is like. I don't like rules, right? I don't like authority in general,
Evidenced
right?
by the fact that we made this.
Yes. So I go to work. I microwave a little tuna dish or whatever, or I microwave some salmon and rice and that, and then people complain. And then next thing you know, a notice goes up: no microwaving fish in the staff room and stuff like that. I'm a bringing my surströmming and just sit in the fucking table.
I mean,
No
you
one
would
will be able to use the
you
staff
would
room for the next 2 days.
no one would be able to use it for the next 2 days. But also, I just love the thought of you turning up to work and just pulling out a pot and cooking like a smoked salmon with like chips and like a proper full meal of like salmon and everything.
At work, one of the guys I work with quite often brings little packets of fresh salmon with like a garlic and something oil on it. It looks really nice. And he microwaves it, and he's got little pots of microwave rice, and he has salmon and rice for his dinner, and it stinks the staff room out. But it's actually really nice. But there are people that work for us. I believe they're from Turkmenistan. They don't speak good English, so I never really get in a proper conversation with them. But they eat like kings. Like they'll come in and they cook like there was once because there's no oven or anything like that. There's a microwave. There's a hot plate, so it's basically like a toasting machine, but it's one of the flat ones.
Yeah,
And there's a small air fryer. And I came in, he was like cutting and frying onions and peppers and stuff on the and spicing them on the hot plate, and then he was cooking stuff in the microwave, and that by the time they were finished, they just had like a pile, and it looked so nice, and they had like rice and stuff and veg, and I was like, dude, and I'm just sitting with like a cheese sandwich or something.
That is the difference between British office meals and everywhere else. Like
Yeah,
Japan, you get the bento and you get like bits of sushi and omelette and stuff like that. Or India, you get fucking curries delivered to you,
yeah.
and we get sandwiches in a
That's
box.
because almost
And
everywhere else.
it's not even good sandwiches. It's one sandwich that's been cut in half to make you think it's two sandwiches, and it's things like fucking cheese, and
Yeah,
it's the shit cheese.
but how British is that? That's because almost everywhere else in the world, because everywhere has nice foods and stuff.
Yeah,
And I think it's universally agreed that home cooked food is the best. Right?
100%.
Now, pretty much everywhere else in the world, um, maybe not so much in Europe in general, but definitely like in the Middle East and stuff like that, and in you know, in other cultures in Africa and stuff like that, and like you said, India and things, they believe that just because you're at work, you're in an office or whatever, it doesn't mean that you can't eat good food. It doesn't mean that you can't cook yourself something nice. It doesn't mean that you can't eat properly.
Well, Jamie Oliver tried to do that. He came on TV and he was showing some nurses how to cook something in like 10 minutes in their office, but their office had like a little oven and stuff in. Most offices don't. They've got a microwave and a kettle.
But yeah, but this is the thing. In Britain, first of all, everyone's overworked and too tired. So when you wake up in the morning, you zombie around the kitchen having a cup of coffee, get washed,
Yeah,
get your teeth brushed and stuff like that. You haven't then got time to gather all the ingredients to make a nice homemade curry. So you just go cheese sandwich,
yeah,
or you nip to Asda and get a microwave meal on the way. Or the supermarkets are available.
yeah. I mean, there's the thing. Like past couple of days, I made ratatouille. I made a chili ratatouille, uh, and I put it in a container to take to work the next day, and I did, and that's just because all I had to do was shove it in the microwave for 2 minutes, and there we go, sorted. But that is purely because I made it the night previous. I wouldn't go out of
So I
my
do
way
that.
to take stuff and take it to work to cook. Like even though where I currently work has it's got a I work in a school at the minute, so it's got an entire cookery section. So I could go in there and cook a full on
It's just raiding home
dinner.
economics lessons.
I mean, in the holidays, we have gotten the pizzas from Asda and went into the ovens and cooked the pizzas and stuff and watched a movie on the projector because it was after shift. But it, like, I could go in there and make a curry, or I could go in there and make like a actual meal, something nice. Like I could make my ratatouille. I can make a steak. I could make food.
Yeah.
But the amount of effort and time that would take, like by the time you do that, your lunch break would probably be nigh on over.
But that's it. We're tired and we haven't got time, so we'll get up and we'll either take leftovers, grab a ready meal, or make a sandwich.
Yeah.
That's it. I'll tell you what I've taken to doing, which is kind of I've taken to getting spicy Mexican microwave rice.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a squeezy bottle of it's mayonnaise. I'm not going to mention brands because I just did what I asked and that was unfair. Mayonnaise, but it's chili and garlic mayonnaise.
Okay.
And a tin of tuna, and microwave the rice, put the tuna in the bowl, mix the rice in, mix in the chili and garlic mayonnaise, and it's absolutely gorgeous. And that's what I've done. I've done it a couple of times last week, and I've got another bag of rice in there
Yeah.
for tomorrow. I'm going to wear tomorrow,
But
Monday.
my cheap option when I can't be asked to make anything, I can't be asked to do anything. I'm just going to be cheap. Is I've usually got butter in the fridge anyway. A pack of ham and a
Mhm.
loaf of bread, and it's just ham sandwiches. And if I can be bothered, I'll buy like a packet of crisps, and it'll just be ham sandwiches every single day of that working week, with a packet of crisps on the side and a cup of tea, and that'll
Hell,
be my lunch.
you know what's just occurred to me?
What?
You're talking about like weird, stupid rules and laws and things that make you think, what the hell?
Yes.
About 3 minutes in, right?
Yes.
We started to get sidetracked, and we spent 11 minutes going from weird laws to basically just what we do for dinner. How's that happened?
It's the law of this
We're not
show.
making a podcast anymore. At this point, we're just having a conversation. This is probably really boring to other people.
I think these are the best episodes because it's just an insight into the stupidity of us, and we go off on a
It's so
tangent.
dumb. It's so dumb. We're talking about fucking Surströmming, and now we're talking about how you make a ham sandwich because you can't be asked to cook.
I mean, there's Surström's food. Surström's food. At least there's a link. There's some sort of link there.
I
We
know,
went
but
from a food-related product to food to how we can't be asked to cook food in England to what we cook.
should we get back on topic?
No, I want to hear more about how these guys fucking fry everything on a hot plate.
Dude, I swear to God, man, they eat like kings. They come in with like, you come in with ready prepared like mixed rice and stuff like that. It was like fresh rice that he cooked off, and it had peppers and onions and different things in. And then they just load it up on the hot plate and cook it. And it's like they come in with a couple of boxes of stuff, and within about 10 minutes they're walking out with just like plates loaded. Like I don't know, like dude, like I first of all they eat like kings. Second of all, they're all like young, fit. Obviously, go to the gym, they work out, so they're quite um,
Healthy.
slim, healthy. Yeah, I'm eating a quarter as much as them, and I'm 4 times their weight. Right, they're just eating healthier and better than me. But also, it's just like the amount that they eat. Like I could not eat that much and then work. I'd be just sitting going, I think I'll give it half an hour
Yeah, it's the
because they
comatose
pile the
meal.
plate. Yeah, but it smells and looks unreal. I want to. Yeah,
Yes, Sue brings up a good thing there.
I was reading that.
I want to know who put their hand in the shredder so often it now needs a sign. That is the thing. All these warning signs. This is the imperative logic that was going to be this episode before we got distracted. Was that all these signs have a reason, and it's because people have gotten so sick of telling other people not to do something that they've decided, fuck it, it's worthy of a sign. So yes, who the fuck has been putting their hand into a shredder so much that it requires a sign for people to not put their hand in a shredder?
I've got a couple of them, you know.
It's just stupid shit like that, isn't it? It's like the warning sign that says "may contain nuts" on peanuts. Who
Yeah,
the fuck is so dumb that they've bought a pack of peanuts and then thought it didn't contain nuts?
yeah.
Like what did you think it was some sort of tofu alternative nut? That would taste horrible and soggy.
A tofu peanut. A toad nut.
Tofu peanut. A toad nut.
Ooh.
Ew. I do not want that. Like I'm legitimately I'm looking around my room for warning signs on things now. I've got a candle here. I'm saying if there's a warning sign for fire. There's a warning sign for fire. Do not pick up candle while lit. Do not pour gas onto candle. Do not lean candle. Do not put candle next to heat or in sunlight.
So I've got some funny. So I've got some funny signs in general, which don't really add into the warning signs of what's going on. But I do have. So can I just say before I do move this on, that them warnings on the candle is just because Darwinism. Darwinism used to be a useful thing. It keeps the population down and it weeds the idiots out the gene pool. And now we are obsessed with putting 400 stickers and 300 safety mechanisms on everything that should be common sense just to save the idiots.
Yeah, I mean, there's
We are
one
being
sign
weakened
that
as a species because people put warnings like that on candles. It's like on rat poison. If you buy a box of rat poison, I guarantee on the back of it it'll say "not for human consumption," "do not consume,"
it
or
literally
something like that.
says, "Where the fuck am I?" There.
The other way.
Warning: candles can cause fire.
Candles are on fire if you're using them. They don't cause fire. The lighter causes fire and lights the candle. It should say candles constitute of fire.
Candles
Candles
are
use
fire.
fire.
Candles require fire. Otherwise, it's a bit of a pointless candle.
So it's not even the right warning.
No.
That sticker should be on the lighter.
I'm looking for a light. I do legitimately have a lighter now. I'm going to see if there's a warning sign saying warning causes fire.
I don't. It's not a warning. It's a caution. So what's that in? A warning. A warning sign is like of immediate danger, so can cause death, isn't it? And caution is like can cause injury.
Yeah.
Right. So a
Right.
caution, one of my favourites.
Can we just...
Danger.
That's on a box
Flammable.
of matches.
Matches are flammable. That's one of the main properties, I would say.
I would fucking hope that they are flammable. Otherwise, they don't have a job.
I've found one of my favourite signs.
Okay.
It's worth noting that first of all, I've no idea. Second of all, it's worth noting that this is just a caution, so it's probably not going to kill you, but you might get injured.
Okay, so... Yeah. You've got your green screen on.
I know.
We're not seeing it, man. Oh, there we go. All that tilt backwards.
If I tilt back, does it come on?
No.
Oh,
No.
nah, fuck it. I'll send you it.
Yep.
Oh, fun. Yeah, so I'll quickly send you it.
You
But
and your bloody green screen.
I know it's so annoying. I would turn it off, but there's so much like rubbish behind us. Like I'm sitting in a storage room at the minute, so
Yeah.
and it works sometimes.
It
Yes,
does.
I do. It is a nice pool. It's not an illusion.
Yeah, you do live in basically a very luxurious hotel suite with a swimming pool and everything behind you. That is not at all glitching out. Okay, yes.
Why? Also, what? Why is it just a caution? Why is it not more dangerous than a caution? Because even if it doesn't bite you, let's just assume the bear it's not feral.
No, I want to know
It might
why
land on you.
there is even a caution or who thought up the idea of parachuting bears. I want to know is that somewhere where they have been experimenting on putting parachutes on bears and throwing them off a cliff and seeing if they can land? Is this been some sort of army research? What has this been in aid of?
Dude, you don't need that. You just need you just need all this parachuting bears, and you should be aware you may get injured.
This is just another addition to your army. It's parachuting bears. You've got your honey badgers. You've got your squadron of geese with hats on.
I've found another good one. So you know the fallen rock sign where it's a car and it's like a cliff and then there's some rocks and underneath it says caution fallen rocks. You get them in the UK. I'm assuming you get them other places. I think you get them like America and places. There'll be some variation of it.
I would assume you get them in places like Italy and stuff as well, where you go next to like sheer cliff faces and things.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, there's a one. It looks to be American, and there's like a cliff face, and then it looks like grass on the top, and on it says caution, and it says fallen cows, and there's just a cow upside down falling towards the car.
In which case, put a fence up. If your cows are falling off the cliff, surely that is bad for business.
It's probably bad for the cow as well.
Well, bad for the cow, bad for the car, but also bad for business. Put a fucking fence around it.
There are some good ones.
I have a list of banned names, by the way.
Hold on. Warning, do not touch the goats. Goats are covered in poison ivy oil. Again, that can't be good for the goats.
Yeah, why are the goats covered in poison ivy oil?
Yeah, I don't know. Warning, snakes, horny trees, and unstable ground. Keep out.
Oh, it's goats are an ideal environmentally friendly alternative for removing poison ivy. They like to eat them. So apparently it doesn't affect the goats, but because they're rubbing up against it and putting their faces into it, they might be covered in the oil.
I've found a one. I've found a one that is more ridiculous than your candle one.
Okay.
I mean, there's a couple. It's warning stickers on products. So there's like a hairdryer and it says "Do not use while sleeping." I mean, first of all, it's loud, so I don't think you'd be asleep. And second of all, you
Secondly,
have to be
how do you
awake to
use it
put it
while
on.
you're sleeping?
Yeah. But two of my favourites ones are somebody took a photo of their new wheelbarrow and there's a sticker on it that says "Not intended for highway use."
Who has been on a wheelbarrow on a highway? I want to meet that person.
But there's a better one, right? I don't, which way around should I do it? Right. There's a scooter, so they've bought a kid a scooter,
Yes.
right? And it's got a warning on it, and I bet you can't guess what it says.
Is it do not operate intoxicated?
It's more stupid than that.
Uh,
This is more stupid than your candles cause fire one, by the way.
okay, not suitable for children.
No, it's warning. This product's move. Sorry, I need to start again. Warning. This product moves when used.
No shit, it's a fucking scooter.
It's got wheels. It's meant to move. That's the point in it.
I want to double check my skateboard's box now, and just to see if the fucking if my skateboard had a warning. This product may move. It may
Oh
also
my
tip.
god. Uh, so I've got two. Oh wow. Okay. I've got four. Four of the somebody's done it. What the fuck were they thinking?
Yes,
So one's a picture of an office microwave, and somebody stuck a warning on the front saying "Do not use for drying pans."
that sounds like an awful idea, especially since most pants have metal buttons.
A hotel room that has a iron cupboard, and on the sticker on the beside the iron says "Never iron clothes on your body." Who has done that?
Surely these people don't do this at home. I am imagining someone trying to iron clothes on their body at home now and just constantly burning themselves and wondering, but everybody else irons. Isn't this the right way to do it?
And my two favourites, one is a sticker. Well, one is on a box for curling irons
Yes.
for external use only.
That's a A&E visit that you don't want to have to explain.
And then the last
Ugh.
one is one that is this is what I'm on about with Darwinism. If somebody
Okay.
is going to do this, let them do it. Get them out the gene pool. You're doing everyone a favour. Don't put a sticker on saying this. And I've
Okay.
seen this on this product when I've used it in real life.
Is this do
Right?
not drink the bleach?
I have one of these, and this
Okay.
sticker is on mine. Right? If someone is going to do this, let them take themselves out the gene pool. It is a
Okay.
chainsaw, and on it says, "Do not attempt to stop the blade with your hands." It says that on my. I've got a chainsaw, and it says that. But
Why
if
would
someone is going to
anybody
try
want
and
to
do
do that?
that,
That sounds like the worst possible idea in the world.
I know.
Ah! I was trying to stop it.
Yeah, it's made for cutting things bigger than your hand.
It's made for cutting down trees. Your hand's not going to
I,
stop it, buddy.
I'll put it this way, Kyle. I'll put it this way. One of the suggested safety equipment that you buy with a chainsaw, and you'll see this all over when you're looking for safety equipment, so you get your safety boots and stuff like that. Or, and I don't know if you know this because you don't have a chainsaw, but you can buy chainsaw-proof pants. So there's special pants that don't cut with a chainsaw. It basically the blade grabs the pants that don't tear, and it stalls the chainsaw to stop it cutting your legs. For if you're
Okay.
cutting a tree and you fall, obviously the chainsaw would be on a rope, and it's to stop it cutting into you or anything, or if it bounces
Yeah.
back, right? There are pants that it is recommended you buy if you are using a chainsaw that stops the chainsaw bouncing or moving and cutting through your leg.
Yes.
If you know that and think, my hand will stop it,
Yeah.
it's like saying, if I shoot someone with this, if I've got a gun, I've got a rifle, and I go out and I shoot a deer, it'll kill the deer. But I bet that if I put my hand over the end of the gun, it won't shoot a hole in my hand. That's the
It
logic we're working with, yeah. It's just like,
it
what? No.
it is the same logic. It's like the what was that person who his gun didn't have a safety, so he put it down his pants and he shot himself.
I've seen a picture of a police officer sitting on a shotgun.
Yeah, that I do not want to ever have that happen. That is just ridiculous. Um,
Um,
I have discovered a list of band names in different countries. I don't know when this list was last updated, but some of these are absolutely fantastic.
so I have seen some, but I will let you go.
So I'm
Away.
going to jump immediately to France, your beloved France,
Yes. But get this
because
out of the way.
you are not allowed to be called Prince William in France.
Okay. What about Prince William?
You're also not allowed to be called Nutella. I'm guessing he's banned. But you're
But
also not
he's not
allowed to be
called
called Nutella or Griezmann Mbappe.
what? They're two footballers' names.
You're not allowed to be called Griezmann Mbappe. Apparently,
And
people were trying to name the children after them, so the French government decided, no, you're not allowed.
why?
Because otherwise, you
It's
would have like
two.
100 Mbappes that speak French.
It doesn't matter. So hold on, Mbappe. So Kylian Mbappe, and then there's Antoine Griezmann. So I'm guessing it's people that like them both are both international French strikers. Are both very good. So
Yeah,
it's like somebody deciding. It's like somebody with the well, not necessarily the surname.
it's like someone deciding to name
Call
someone.
someone Sterling Kane. We're going to
Yeah.
ban that. Why? It's just a name. I don't get it. It is literally people's names already.
Ooh, I found the best spelling of one of our friends' names earlier.
Hmm.
This is a new spelling that I've never fucking seen before, but someone has complicated the spelling of J.
Well, I found a Stefan the other day that was Stefon.
Okay, I've never seen that one. That one
No,
sounds
neither one.
very German. Would you like to try and guess
I think it was an
how?
American dude.
Would you like to know how J was misspelt?
J. J. How would you misspell J? It's just J. Jay. So Jay. Jay. I don't know. How would you J?
J
Yeah.
J
J
A
J
Y
J J.
J J.
So it's J J.
But it was one name.
J
So
J.
it was double J A Y. So it's JJ. You would assume would be a nickname for someone who has two J's, or they would just be called JJ. But this was J A Y J
J J.
J.
Was it a printing error?
No, kid's actual name.
So somebody called that kid J, but wanted to stand out to put an extra J on it.
Yeah,
Why?
I have no idea. I have no idea, my dear sir. How I was so confused when I saw it. I saw it on my phone, and I was sitting there going, "How can you name? How can you be that? I don't even know what you would be to misspell J."
Well, I don't know. I don't. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know either. Anyway, back to the band names. Um, my grandma can never go to Saudi Arabia
Okay.
because you cannot be called Linda in Saudi Arabia.
Why?
No idea. You just can't be called Linda. Same as how in Morocco you cannot be called Sarah.
Okay.
In Mexico you cannot be called circumcision.
I feel like that's cruel. If you
In
are
Iceland you cannot be called Harriet. And in Denmark you cannot be called Monkey.
okay,
There's
oh, you
anal in
can't be
New
called.
Zealand.
You can't be called monkey in the UK either.
You can't be called cyanide in the UK either.
You also can't be called Adolf Hitler or Osama bin Laden in Germany.
Yep, that's right. You can't be called Tom in Portugal or Camilla in Iceland. Duke in Australia, so sorry, Americans. or Judas in Switzerland.
Oh, okay.
You can't
I'm
be,
surprised. The Swiss don't generally care about much. They generally just behave anyway.
yeah. China, apparently going very against Muslims, you cannot be called Quran.
Oh, so do you know about the Uyghur Muslims? What they're called? Uyghur? Oh no, Uyghur. No Jews.
I'm not
I
sure.
will send you links and things later. I'll discuss it off air. But yeah, the Chinese don't like Muslims.
The Chinese don't like anybody, to be honest. Um, so in Sweden, you can't be called Metallica. Uh, Snake in Malaysia. Sex fruit in New Zealand. The New Zealand ones sound fun. You can't be called sex fruit and you can't be called anal. I want to know who's trying to name the kids these things.
Yeah, sorry, they are Muslims.
Um, Harriet in Iceland. Thor in Portugal.
Thor?
Thor. Yeah, you can't be called Thor.
That's just a Greek. It's a Greek god name.
Yeah, but you Norse god, but you can't be called
Norse.
Thor. And you also can't be called 007 in Malaysia. Apparently, someone tried to name the child literally the numbers 007.
Well, that's a number, so I get that. That's not just. It's just because it's stupid.
Yeah. But I have one from your fantastic place that you went on holiday, which I think you will love.
Okay.
You cannot be called Robocop in Mexico.
Oh, that's just bullshit. Well,
Mexico
Mexico.
does not allow Robocop. Robocop is banned.
Maybe it's because RoboCop's American.
Maybe. They just went, fuck it, America, it's banned. I do want to come back to China, though, just on like a little side note thing, because this is hilarious, and I found this while looking for the things that were banned.
Yeah.
And I believe we did actually talk about it on a previous episode, but I rediscovered it. And it's in the, you might remember this. In 2013, a Chinese businessman hired a hitman to take out his competitor. Um, he hired the hitman for 282,000 or the equivalent in Chinese currency. But the hitman hired another hitman to do the job for 141,000, so basically halving it. That hitman hired another hitman, who then hired another hitman, who then hired another hitman. The final hitman was offered only $14,100, and he contacted the target and asked him to fake his death so he didn't have to kill him while still being able to get the money.
How much was the initial Hitman charging for that to be filtered that much and still be worth it for the last Hitman?
Let's think. The original hitman was offered 282,000. Then the second hitman was offered by the first hitman 141,000, and then it went down another 4 levels until eventually it got to the sixth hitman, the sixth and final one. So this went, each hitman went down the chain until eventually it did 6 times, and the sixth one, getting $14,100, decided I'm just going to contact the person that this guy wants dead, tell him to fake his own death, so that he lives and I get to keep the money. All 6 of them were arrested.
Oh, that's kind of. So, what I was going to say was this gives me. Imagine the business opportunity here. So, the initial one charged what?
The initial one was charged 282,000.
282,000. So, say you charge a square 250, and
Yeah,
then you find the guy that'll do it for 14 grand.
yeah.
You've made 230 odd grand for that.
Well, that's the thing. I think it was like that. This was like a top quality hitman, and he sort of dropped it down to a lesser quality hitman. So he thought, well, okay, I'll offer him half. I'm still getting 141 myself.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, if you go on the dark web and advertise yourself as an absolute top-notch hitman for 280k or 250k, even, you're undercutting the top ones, right? You kind of make fake credentials to back it up, whatever. Somebody comes and pays you, you then know for a fact there's a cheap ass hitman who'll do it for 14k. You just get straight in touch with him. Yeah, do this. You outsource it, cutting out the 5 in between. You're only spending 15k and you've made 250.
I think it
So it's
was
like 235 profit.
I think it was more a case of like this guy had either had a reputation or it was like he had been offered this and he decided, screw it, the next person's going to get half. Like, I'm going to go to this person and say, look, you do this job. I've been given this job. You do it. I'll give you half. And then he's went to someone else and went, you do this job. I'll give you half. And then it's just went down the chain. It's basically one hitman tried to get away from doing the job himself and be lazy. And then the other one did it. And then the third one did it. And then the fourth one did it. And then the fifth. And then eventually it reached the sixth, who was getting
That's
a pittance.
mental.
And
That's absolutely mental.
they all got arrested, and they were all convicted of attempted murder by the court and sentenced to up to 5 years in prison because none of them actually did the murder or went through with it or managed to do it. They were just offered the money and sort of conspired.
Hold
So
on. So, can I just argue a case here if I was in court?
it isn't attempted murder because none of them attempted the murder.
Exactly. So you said yourself they conspired. So I could understand if they got charged with conspiracy to commit murder,
Yeah.
but surely they can't be charged with attempted murder. I'd if I took money as a hitman and then outsourced it to another hitman and never done anything to try and harm anyone in that process and got charged with attempted murder and it stuck, I would want a new lawyer.
I would want a new lawyer, but also if you got paid that much for a murder that you did not commit, I'm pretty sure you'd be able to pay off your bail money.
Well, no, because what they do is if
Or
they think
just
you're a
bribe
danger.
the court.
So if you're a hitman, or you've taken money to kill someone, then you're obviously a danger to the public. They would set bail at what is unattainable for you. So that's
Yeah.
why like drug dealers will have like £2 or £3 million bail because they know that they're not going to pay it when they're only worth like £500,000.
Yeah. I just love the fact that it went all down the chain, and there's pictures of them, right? And this is the great thing. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Like, the room is double stacked police officers behind them. There's like 20 police officers in this room, stood behind these 6 people.
Well, yeah,
There's
because you
two-
think there's 6 hitmen.
There's 2 officers holding each hitman. Each hitman has the hands cuffed in front of them. They're stood in a standard sky blue vest top and standard sky blue shorts, while barefoot and nothing else on them. So they've obviously been stripped of all gear and given these outfits while being arrested. So they have absolutely fuck all. But that's only for the 4
Oh, hold on,
main hitmen.
can I
That's
just
only
say?
for the 4. Sorry, that's only for the 4 first hitmen. The other 2 are just in normal clothes.
Can I just say? Imagine if you're undercover for the FBI. Right,
Yeah.
you're in charge with taking things down off the dark web. You're in charge of taking down drug dealers and stuff like that. So what you're doing is you're going online, you're finding the most dangerous people, you're finding the most lucrative drug dealers and stuff, taking the biggest players out off the market and stuff like that. And you
Yeah.
get wind of this hitman. He's like 280k. He's one of the best of the best of the best. And you're like, right, this is a guy we're going to go after. You spend ages. You get funds together. You convince the people, your superiors, and that it's worth doing it because we're going to get this guy. We're going to sting him. We're going to, come up with like a fake target or whatever. You get all the resource into it. You know where you can get to him. And then when you actually do it and follow the trail, you realize that you've accidentally actually busted fucking 8 of them.
Yeah.
You'll be a fucking hero in the office if this is a sting.
Either that or you go through all of that, and then they'll all just get busted by a street cop because one was dumb enough to do that at the very end.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, imagine if this was a sting and they just thought they were taking out one big hitman, and then suddenly they've got 8.
But seriously, right? Look at them. The first one, I'm guessing like the first one on this side is like the main hitman, right? He's looking quite young, but he's looking very serious. He's looking like he means business. The next one in, he's looking a bit older, a bit chubbier, a bit like he's maybe past his prime and he's done a few hits and stuff. Then it looks like sort of an apprenticeship guy, a guy who has some age but is a bit fitter, a bit more kept together. And then you get to number 4 and he looks a bit younger. He doesn't look as menacing or anything. He looks like he might be just new to the business. And then you get to the very end to the last two, the only two allowed to be in plain clothes because they know they're not that fucking dangerous. They're in shoes, they're in plain clothes. The sixth one, the very last one, isn't even in fucking handcuffs.
That is funny though.
It's like you've got all four of them being stripped of the clothes. They've each got two men on them. They've got the cuffs in front of them. The fifth one, he's still got his clothes on, but he's still got the two officers and he's still cuffed. The very last one is just stood there, hands by his side, with one cop stood next to him with his hand on his shoulder. That's enough.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, so he's definitely the least dangerous.
Yeah, he's definitely like the weak one of the group. He's like the one that got offered the very final amount and just said, "Can you just fuck off from the country?"
Yeah. That is mental. Imagine, like I'm saying though, imagine if that was a sting and they were just going after the one, and then all of a sudden they go from six of them or whatever.
I feel like that needs to be. I feel like eventually there's going to be uncovered FBI files or uncovered CIA or whichever agency, and it's just going to be stupid shit like that. Like someone went after like a high-end drug dealer, and they ended up bringing down an entire drug cartel because one person was dumb enough to put that address on Facebook or some shit. That's the main issue nowadays. Like in the olden days, they had to do like research, and they would have to like get wires and get insiders and all that sort of stuff. Nowadays, half of the fucking drug dealers and stuff are just caught because they brag about it on fucking Facebook or Instagram or TikTok.
Did I ever tell
Wasn't there
you?
recently that recently there was someone caught because they were on Instagram showing off like massive stacks of cash and stuff, wasn't it? And they got investigated, and it turns out they were a cocaine dealer or something.
Yeah. I need to fight. Right, so did I tell you about a guy, the flood on the Mississippi River?
Quite possibly, but I'm not too sure.
So, sorry, this is just because this is like dumb arrest, dumb things people do and stuff like that.
Yes, is it that I remember? Yeah, I think we had this in an episode a while ago. Didn't he try and do something like they had a defense up, and he broke the defense so that it flooded.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
basically, so you could have an affair.
yeah. It's just so he could have an affair, so everybody in town would be focused on fixing this fence, so he could go off and fuck someone.
Caused what is known as the Great Flood of 2003, I think it is.
Imagine causing a great flood just so you can get your leg over.
Yeah, I mean,
He must have been watched like a hawk.
so there's some funny ones, so I'll gloss over them. So it's the 20 most shocking true arrest stories, right? So one of them was a guy called Tom Waits was arrested for stopping cops from bullying civilians.
That sounds about standard, to be honest. Standard protester type thing.
He's apparently the guy that Heath Ledger's performance as the Joker was based on, because he was a bit of an odd guy. There's James Scott, who broke the dam so he could sleep around. There was an American arrested for trying to swim in North Korea.
Well, okay. Was he in some sort
Oh
of
no,
specific spot? Or...
no, sorry, I understand. He was arrested for trying to swim to North Korea. An unnamed Texan was found on a riverbank by guards in South Korea and subsequently arrested. Turns out you can't just enter restricted military zones to get away with it. So basically, because he can't travel, you can't tourist in North Korea. So he touristed to South Korea, then tried to swim across.
I mean, kudos to him for trying, but why would you want to if you know you're immediately going to get a... It's not exactly as if you're going to blend in once you get there.
Dude, there is Earl Simpson, who was arrested for going to work.
How?
Not just once.
Right.
Add getting arrested for having a job to the laundry list of things that black people have to worry about. That, at least in Miami Gardens, where a man named Earl Sampson, by 2013 had been confronted by police more than 500 times and jailed 56 times while at work at his convenience store job.
Okay, what was he doing at said job?
It says, needless to say, he wasn't thrilled about it, neither was the boss, because it turns out that when your employee keeps going to jail all the time, it ruins productivity. A video camera that was later installed caught officers making illegal searches and also served to prove some of the police reports to be false. So basically, they were just targeting him because he's a black guy and he was in a shop, and they just, even though he worked there.
So they were just like, oh, you're harassing his business, we're going to arrest you. But he worked there. Or like they were trying to do stop searches and stuff.
So there was a guy who has a strange compulsion.
Right.
Earlier this year. Oh, what was this article from this year? It's from 2014.
Oh, so just a little bit older.
So it's a little bit older. So in 2014, there was a man called Edwin Tuberta. Don't know, he's got a weird surname. He was arrested for having sex with an inflatable raft in a public location.
But what?
An inflatable raft. He'd also been arrested for the same crime in 2013.
Why specifically an inflatable? Like, I know there's inflatable sex dolls out there. Why a raft? Could he not afford the doll, but could afford the raft?
Dude,
And
rafts are
they'd
dear
help
as
his
well,
name?
man.
I know they are. That's what I'm confused at. Like, is he just finding inflatable rafts,
Also in
or
a
is he
public
buying
location,
one?
why didn't you take it home? Well, I don't think he's finding one because he did get charged with the same in 2013 and in 2011 and in 2002, but that time it was an inflatable pumpkin.
Yeah. Okay. So this guy definitely has like, this guy definitely has a thing.
Oh, yeah. There was a paedophile who was captured after the evidence was accidentally stolen by a thief.
Ah, I think I saw about that one. It was like the thief ended up giving himself up to the police and going, "Look, I've stolen these, but look, like this guy is worse." Didn't the thief end up like getting a pardon or something because he came forward with mass evidence for the thing? So he ended up getting like a suspended sentence or something. They were basically like, "Look, we know you stole these, but."
No, I don't know because it does say that they did find 4 victims. So basically, this guy stole a load of stuff from a place in Spain, including tapes. Realized that they were criminal sexual abuse involving children. Handed them into the police and was kind of honest about it. I don't know if he got
Arrested or
arrested
pardoned or what?
or pardoned or whatever. But what also helped was obviously he knew where he'd stolen from, so he gave the police the address. What
Yeah.
also helped was that the guy who had them stolen from him had phoned the police and reported some stuff stolen.
So they knew who it was because he had reported stuff stolen. He
Wait,
obviously didn't specify what.
what was on the tapes? What he said, we've had tapes and shit because you have to document what was stolen. So he reported them stolen. Some people.
I mean, surely you wouldn't report that stolen, though. Like, uh, logic baffles me. The stupidity of humans baffles me. How can you be that stupid?
Dude, I have found the most. I'm sorry if. Right. I'm in a group that has it's full of Americans who take the piss out of each other, and mainly the southern states, and it's mainly like incest stuff and how Alabama is that, and taking the piss out of, like stupid headlines and things.
Yeah.
And there's one that's come out on this stupid arrest. It says siblings were arrested for having sex in a church pub parking lot.
Why?
I don't know. Apparently, they just finished watching The Notebook. They were arrested and charged with incest, aggravated sodomy, and prowling.
Just why? Why would you?
Don't know. Oh, this is. What about the time a sober man was arrested for drink driving?
How? What did he have? Alcoholic hand gel or no? Like, how is the logic between getting arrested for drink driving while sober?
So, apparently, when you get arrested for drink driving, obviously they pull you over.
Yeah,
You blow into a breathalyzer.
they
You
pull you
either
over, but they've usually got a good reason to pull you
oh,
over,
they pull
like
you
you've
over
been
with
swerving or
suspicion.
something.
They pull you over
Yes.
with suspicion, or they pull you over and realise that you smell like alcohol, or you've been in an accident.
Yeah.
And you get breathalyzed. Uh, if you blow over the limit, you then get taken to the police station where you get to spend the night at Her Majesty's pleasure, if you're in the
Yeah.
UK, or just in jail. Um,
Well, His Majesty's pleasure now.
oh well, yes, sorry. Um, and then you get blood tests, and then if you fail that, obviously you get charged with it officially. That's unless you're Larry Davis. In 2013, he was arrested in Austin, Texas for driving under the influence. When the police took him to the station and he was given the breathalyzer at the station, he blew 0.00 and still spent the night in jail.
So they arrested him, but didn't do a breathalyzer on the scene. They took him to the police station.
They
Then
just basically they
breathalyzed him
pulled him over,
at the police
arrested him
station.
for drink driving, took him back, realised he hadn't been drinking, and then had a press release and said that they maintained that Davis was impaired at the time.
No.
Yeah, just all the blood had left his system in the 10 minutes that you drove him back to the station.
Yeah, what the fuck, man? Like, God's sake. I'm sure it's just like people trying to get the numbers up. Like, do the police have to arrest a certain number of people a month, so they needed to like get the arrests up or something?
Dude, what about the Slovak police were doing a training exercise in 2010. The operation involved placing explosives in civilian bags, meant to help test the protocols in place to detect explosives. Distressing enough that the idea that regular people's baggage was being used instead of dummy luggage. Worse was that the police lost track of one of the bags. The man carrying them was then arrested later when he arrived home, then realised when it became clear that he had no idea what was going on. So instead of using dummy bags and putting them in amongst people's bags, they actually put explosives in people's bags, lost one of them, and then later on a guy found them, was like, what the fuck's this, phoned the police, and then got arrested.
How? What level of incompetence is that?
It's the fact that he didn't know what was going on. They were like, oh yeah, shit, this is the train one we lost yesterday, guys.
Like, he must have been so relieved. Like, he's
Why
come
aren't they using
home
dummy
with a
bags?
bag.
Oh, hey.
Fucking
Oh
hell.
yes, I found a brilliant. This is so brilliantly American.
Okay.
An anti-gay rights senator, right?
Yes.
So this is a guy who.
Was he arrested for doing something gay?
Oh, it's better than that.
Okay.
So this is a guy in charge of anti-gay rights, and gay people shouldn't have rights,
Yes.
right? He was arrested for drink driving home from a gay bar.
Yeah.
In 2010, the Senator Roy Ashburn was arrested on a Wednesday morning for driving drunk from a gay club with a man in the car with him.
Of course.
None of this would be especially noteworthy if he hadn't consistently opposed legislation meant to improve a lot of the LGBTQ community.
I'm amazed he was let into the
LGBTQ
bar.
plus now, isn't
Yeah.
it? We travel back in time to 1932. We travel to the upside down part of the world, that is Australia.
Oh.
And there is a typical political photo op. There's a ribbon cutting ceremony to open a bridge to the public. On March the 19th, with the Premier of the New South Wales, Jack Lang, about to cut the ribbon, a man named Francis de Groot rode up on his horse, slashed through the ribbon with a sword. According to the Australian Geographic, de Groot declared the bridge open in the name of the decent and respectable people of New South Wales. He was then arrested, charged and fined, but was able to win the appeal and then settle with the police after he filed a suit against them. So there's a photo of this guy just riding past with a sword in the air like that, because they'd gathered people and they were doing an official press thing to open the bridge. They had a celebrity there ready, and this guy just rode past on his horse in full military uniform with a fucking long sword, cut the ribbon, declared it open, then got arrested. Then won his appeal, then sued the police, and then they had to settle with him.
I fucking love it. The fact that he ended up
Dude, I love
suing the police and
Australia.
settling with them as well, man.
I love
Oh,
Australia.
Australians never change. You are legends. Never change. Hey, Christ.
So hobbies. This guy got
Yes.
arrested not even because of his hobby, just for asking about it.
Okay, odd one.
So it says there are safer hobbies than playing around with radiation. That's part of why it's a criminal offence to build your own nuclear reactor or to otherwise play around with nuclear material, right?
Yes.
Of course, not everyone knows that off the top of their head, and so before setting out on his experiment to split atoms, Richard Handel of Sweden wanted to make sure if it was legal or not, so he sent a message to the Swedish Radiation Authority to ask if it was okay for him to do so before proceeding. In short, it wasn't. He was arrested, though he had not yet had a chance to build his reactor, and The Guardian humorously reported that he had been banned from pursuing his nuclear interests by both Radiation Authority and his landlord. So his landlord realised he got arrested, went, what for? And he was like, I was asking about building a nuclear reactor. And he was like, don't do that in the house.
I love that, but I love the fact that he got arrested for
For asking.
asking the nuclear people, "Can I
Is
do this?" And then
can
just instead of them just turning around going, "No, you'll destroy however much," or just no, they ended up phoning the police and getting arrested.
I just
For
love the
being
idea
assholes.
that you can be arrested for asking. So I love the idea that you can go into a police station and go, I just want to make sure, is murder illegal? And they go, yes, you're under arrest. What? I didn't do it.
Yeah. If I was to go and smash a glass over this person's head, would that be illegal? Yes. Okay, I will. Okay, I'm under arrest now. Okay. I haven't done it. I'm not going to do it now that I know it's illegal. But, okay, fine. I'm under arrest for assault.
Oh, dude. Roger Gawley was arrested for visiting his husband at the hospital.
Was this under some sort of restriction, like he was, like, past the visiting times or something?
Nah, so it's basically stupid hospital policies and people being in a bad temper. So when Alan Gawley's partner was in hospital, he was asked by Alan's family and the hospital. Oh, sorry, Gawley was asked by Alan's family and the hospital both to leave. This, despite being in a civil union with Alan, he demanded that the hospital look into their legal status, as he was his official partner. And when neither party refused to budge from their position, he was escorted from the premises and arrested. The hospital later claimed that the situation had gotten out of control and that the discussion to have Gawley removed was arrived at when Gawley could not keep his temper in check. So they basically hired the guy out, realised they were in the wrong, and they went, that's because he was too aggressive. Yeah, because he was there to
Yeah,
see his husband, you're hiring him out.
yeah. He would be aggressive.
Yeah.
I hate it when people do that, and it's like, calm down, calm down. There's no need to be aggressive. I'm being fucking aggressive because of you.
Holy shit. A Chinese police officer was arrested
Okay.
for throwing a child.
Throwing a child.
It is worse than it sounds.
Okay, I thought it was going to be something stupid, like he was throwing his own child in the air or something.
It says drunken shenanigans are all good and fun, provided they don't leave you to do certain things. That's the unfortunate outcome of a night of rowdiness in August 2013. An off-duty police officer in his 50s reportedly thought an infant girl was a doll, grabbed her from her father, and threw her to the ground.
Ooh.
To make matters worse, the incident was then covered up by police for a month, and in the end, the culprit was arrested. And although the girl suffered a skull fracture, she wound up being okay. The family also received financial compensation from the police department. You're fucking too right.
Yeah, fucking hell.
I would have, if I was a father, I would have been arrested because I would have kicked the shit out of that police officer.
I feel
I
like
wouldn't
the
have been
police
able to
officer
cover it up
did
because I would
get.
have broke every bone in his fucking body.
Yeah, definitely. Fucking hell. That's just no good, man.
No. And then, number one, we arrive at the epitome of being arrested for stupidity.
Well, we shall finish after this one, my dear sir. So this is the pinnacle. This is the epitome. This is the last.
Do you want the headline or do you want the story to unfold as I read it?
I want the story to unfold as you read it.
Right. Here's the thing about getting revenge after a breakup. It's stupid. Take the case of Terry Lester for an example. According to the Smoking Gun, as a gift to one of his exes, he planned on giving her a vibrator filled with gunpowder and buckshot. And when the device was inserted into the female, he would pull the trigger and it would blow them up. Luckily, Lester at the time lived with a woman who discovered the device, and she took it to the police, who promptly arrested the man. He was charged with a variety of crimes and sentenced to up to 10 years in prison. So the headline is, he was arrested for building an exploding vibrator.
But, I mean, it brings a whole new meaning to explosive in the bedroom.
Of all the ways to get revenge.
Yeah, that seems very convoluted and very difficult and like annoying and bad way of getting revenge.
But also, like, there's a lot of... I'm guessing this is in America. If you've just got gunpowder and buckshot and you can get shit like that, and
It's just lying around. You can go and buy it from Walmart. Yeah.
your intention is to kill her, because that's
Yeah.
what's going to happen here. So
It's
I'm
not
not-
going to
I mean,
injure.
yeah, I mean, I'm not saying it's obviously good that he did the stupid thing and he got found out and then they didn't get hurt. But if you're that hellbent on killing someone, why don't you just go and shoot them? Why would you go with this much effort?
Yeah.
Because you think if you're going to that much effort to not walk in and strangle someone or beat them or shoot them, then surely you would go to the effort to not be there so that you can't be charged with the crime. Like, he's made the effort to still be in a situation where he's definitely going to get caught and charged with it.
Well, no, because this is the thing. Like, if it said like he'll be in the position to pull the trigger, which means I'm assuming it'll be like a remote detonation. In which case, he'll probably be watching it out of a window or something, where he
No,
might
you
get
see-
arrested for peeping tom or something because it
Pull-
was his
pull-
ex.
Pull the trigger.
Because it was his ex and it was a vibrator for his ex. I doubt his ex is going to let him come in while she's using it and then push a button on it.
No, man, he'd literally have to pull. It says gunpowder and buckshot. It's not remote detonate. It would have to be a trigger to trigger the gunpowder. There'd have to be like a what do you call it? Percussion cap, wouldn't there, to ignite the gunpowder?
Yeah, but I'm assuming his ex isn't going to let him come in and watch her use it while he's in the room and then just walk up and press a button on and make it blow up. And also, if he has to do that, surely he runs the risk of blowing his hand off at the same time.
Listen, I don't think street smarts were his strong suit in the first place, Kyle.
I don't think any smarts were his strong suit, to be honest.
Oh no.
Just ouch and no.
Also, revenge. Revenge shot, unless you shot his dick off, that's an overreaction.
Yeah, 100%.
That's what you call a disproportionate response.
Definitely. That is... I'm gobsmacked.
That's genuinely. we'll get witty remarks in the comments.
Yeah, and as Sue says, he's dynamite in bed. We're going to end with that, folks.
Aye.
It's been an absolute pleasure. Me and Stefan are probably going to try and plan things because we have been planning and convoluting and things before the session, which was why we were late.
Plotting
we'll
and planning. It's dangerous for the world.
It really is. So probably end up doing more of that. But we will see you all next week. It has been a pleasure. And we hope that you have enjoyed the show. We hope that you will continue listening.
Yes.
And we'll see
And there
you
are many
all-
ways to support us, of which all of the links we don't read out anymore. So thanks.
There are many ways to support us. You can right.
So
hold
hold on,
on,
I'll do a
find
blanket term here. If you Google "taken off air," you will find easy links to a website which may or may not be down. I think it's under maintenance currently. You'll find a place you can get merch, which should be on the website as well. You will find Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all the usual social medias. Just give them a like and a follow, and then you'll know when we're online. We record every week. Thank you for supporting the show, and of course, the biggest support you can give it is just listening to it, join them every week. So thank you for that. Available on any podcasting platform.
And drag your friends in, drag everybody in, drag your nana in, your 100-year-old nana. I'm sure she would love to hear it.
If you have to, take hostages. Okay? We won't be responsible for it, but do that.
Exactly.
Actually,
we
if
do
you
not
take
condone it,
no,
but it would be useful.
no, that's no. You see, I haven't been smart there because if they take hostages, if you take like 5 hostages, listen to this podcast. That's still only one listen for, isn't it? Don't take hostages. Just encourage them to listen to it individually.
Hack into the global world. You know the giant signs in New York? Get us on them. Hack into the world network. Make everybody's mobile phone blow up with us. There we go. That's how you can help us.
Or just listen to it and like our socials.
That sounds like the
and
easy option, doesn't it?
feel free to chat. We'll respond to people.
Yeah. Thank you very much, and we'll see you all next time.
Next week.
Bye.